Not everyone has the opportunity to build their own house. My wife and I, Laura, stumbled upon the opportunity when we bought recreation property on the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia. Now, this wasn't very nice recreation property. In fact, we purchased a junkyard, which the previous owner had absolutely every kind of piece of trash that you could imagine, including 9 barrels of dead fish. We were living in Vancouver at the time, and this place was a reasonable price, $47,000. And we, being young and foolish, thought, well, we'll just renovate. Well, after 2 years of investigation, we realized that the house was not going to be renovated. It was a danger, it was a tinderbox, and it was full of rodents. We stumbled upon the log house idea only because, while I was tearing down the old house, the log contractor was building the new house, and it could be transported over and put onto the foundation that we had that was already there. I had no idea how difficult that would be. I was terminally exhausted at the end of it, and 14 tons of garbage to get rid of. I found this book at a bookstore, and the Japanese house inside really inspired me, as I didn't want a traditional log house. They're kind of cutesy. I decided to come up with something on my own and sketched out plans, gave them to Laura, and she made them more practical. But in the end, we came up with what we wanted, and it was a joy to finally get to that part of the building. I was on a 3-month leave of absence. While the old house was coming down, the new house was going up. Finally, the exciting day came when the house was to go up. This took a period of 2 days, very quick, nice weather, and it was just a lot of fun to watch these men work and get this house up. Once the logs were installed, my friend Johan, a master artist and carpenter, and a really strong kid named Darcy, this is when we said goodbye to the log builder, and it was up to us to finish the rest of the house. At this point, we needed to get the house lockable. We were both working and living in Vancouver at the time, and my 3 months leave of absence came to an end. We finally got jobs up on the Sunshine Coast and moved into an unfinished house full of building supplies. It slowly came together. We first fixed up the bathroom and then started at the ceiling and worked our way down. I was lucky enough to get a good price on 2-inch tongue-and-groove cedar, which we used in all the ceiling surfaces. We pre-stained it before we put it up and cut the walls for the skylights. Laura did most of the ceiling work and all of the drywall, as I was not allowed the drywall, quality issues. Finally, after about 5 years, the majority of the house was done. The Douglas fir hardwood floor was in. The staircase was finished. At this point, we were able to host a couple of art shows as a part of the Sunshine Coast Art Crawl. I used a lot of the wood from the old house to build stairs, the bar, and other parts of the house. The recycled wood also came in handy for building some of the furniture we needed. The wood for the boat case and the framing for the walls we mounted the drywall. Our friend Warren, a kitchen designer, helped us with the cabinets in the kitchen. They were purchased from a retailer and I installed them myself. I liked the design of the Japanese kitchen. It seemed very friendly and neighborly. We do have an abundance of good people in our neighborhood, an all-around great community to live. The last part of the house to be finished after the bedrooms were done was the library home theater room. This room also has a vaulted ceiling, which is covered in that 2-inch cedar. Most of the artwork that covers the walls is mine. first room to be completed was the bathroom. It has a slate shower and heated floors, which is such a nice thing to have. The majority of the landscaping we did when we were trying to figure out what to do with the old house. Our yard is a very special place with good views of Mount Trowbridge. What was really needed was the wraparound deck. The deck is 2x6 cedar. We live in a rainforest, so the back part of the deck is covered, and it's nice to sit out there on a rainy day. We are now living our dream and enjoying a great neighborhood with lots of excellent people. Hope you enjoyed sharing our adventure. It's not something I'll do again, but it was certainly worth it.